Noise with the Duke remix featuring Connects right here on Early Edition with it's 5:31 pi is the station that brings Pacific people together. Josiah Pasikale is of Tokelau Fijian descent, who is a marketing business owner who was one of the finalists for this year's Mr. Gay New Zealand title. A title that is bestowed on someone who shows leadership and advocacy within the LGBTQIA plus community. The Wellingtonian struggled with his sexuality for a decade and found himself hiding parts of his identity. He even tried conversion therapy when he felt his faith, sexuality, and mental health hit a crisis point. It didn't change him in the way his therapist and pastors thought it would. Instead, it made him realize that God doesn't want to change him. At 27, he became open about his sexuality. Josiah Pasikale is on the line with us now. Taloha ni, Bolavinaka, and ni hao, Josiah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Malo, thank you for allowing me to come on your show.
It is our pleasure. We allow everybody on Early Edition. Tell us, congratulations on being a finalist.
Thank you, thank you. It was hard work getting on that competition.
Yes. And then they made the announcement on Sunday. How was it?
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I think Big Gay Out brought together 15,000 people, so it was really good to kind of see the wider community come out to support the event and for the announcement to be made. I didn't win, um, but I did my best, and that's all that I could ask.
Hey, you represented Wellington. You were in the finals. You're a winner as far as we're concerned.
I mean, I didn't say I was a loser.
Oh, good, 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 good. That is a good outlook on life, because wasn't always a positive outlook on your life. Would you like to share with our audience? Because I know a good friend of mine, Elizabeth Kerikere, is putting a petition for a law to ban conversion therapy. Now, you, as a young gay man growing up in the church, you struggled with your sexuality. Could you tell us that journey?
I really thought that homosexuality uh, was a sin, and I really believed, from my teachings from the Bible that God could really fix this. And so, for a good decade, I prayed to God. I committed myself to what I was told to believe. And then that kind of collided into me seeking some counseling or some conversion therapy, what it's called now. Um, and it was really the counseling that really changed my mind on what God really thought about my sexuality. Um, I just thought, if He really wanted to change me, um, He would. Um, but I really believed, at the end of the counseling, um, it wasn't something that He saw was a mistake in myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yes, absolutely. That makes total sense to me. What was it like talking with mum and dad about that? Because dealing with it in church is one thing,
Mm.
but also within the family. How were mum and dad about you uh, and
Um,
your sexuality?
Um, I mean, I do think I need to kind of take into consideration. My parents are from a different generation, and they're also mom's from Fiji, dad's from Tokelau. So their upbringing of sexuality is also biased towards or influenced by religion and their faith. So, kind of when I told them, they were both in shock because homosexuality isn't really a thing in those cultures, or heterosexual acting males, as in that are homosexual orientated, aren't actually a thing in that culture or in that faith, and so yeah, they were in shock, and I don't know really like what they would have felt for them. Maybe the dreams that they kind of had for me as their only son to have a family or have a wife and kids. Maybe those are some dreams that they had to die to.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean about our cultures. In Samoan, it's the same. The Fa'afine are very obvious, and in some ways they're accepted. But
Mm.
for men who are not Fa'afine in that sense, not trying to look or act like women, it is a much more difficult path to travel down.
Mm.
This conversion
I,
therapy, it seems to be something. Now, I'm not sure because I'm not sure whether it happens in Pacific Island churches, but it seems to be something that happens in Palangi churches more often than not, or at least from what I'm hearing on the ground.
I mean, I would say that the practice isn't something that you'd find on a church's website. I, I would say it's definitely when I did the counselling, it was not at my church. They had hired a counselor from another church that specialised in this kind of counselling. They told me, and that was in a back room, and pretty much the goal was to rewire my brain so that um, I would like women, and they tried to look into my traumas as a child. They monitored my web browsers and all my devices. I think they really tried their best to try heal what they thought needed healing, and um, I think that was really the confusing part for me because I really went into the counseling wanting to be healed, and I was quite disappointed that they couldn't heal me. um,
Yeah, no, I absolutely get that. I absolutely get that because here's the thing for me. Why would you choose to be a gay, knowing the prejudice that there is out there in this society? You would never, well, I don't think that you would choose that for yourself. However, it is who you are. Part of the argument from the church is that God made us to procreate. What would you say to that?
I would say before God made us to procreate, the first words in the Bible is in the beginning God created, um, and I really believe that God is still creating today. That He hasn't stopped creating, and if He can create a double rainbow in the sky, why can He not create me as a homosexual man? Um, that loves other men. And I think that at the end of the day, um, God is love, and we need to. I believe that when we love other people the same way that God loves us, uh, reproduction is something that isn't is not love.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for your bravery. And I know as a young person, you struggled. In my introduction, I mentioned your mental health suffered as a result of this as a young person, trying to come to terms with your sexuality. There are young people now listening and watching this online if they're on Facebook. What would you say to them?
I would say it's not easy. Um, it took me 10 years to kind of come to terms with it myself, my own sexuality. But I would say if there are any tools that I could give you, it would be to uh, you know slowly build up people around you that really support you, that you can be transparent with. Because the last thing I think didn't help me, in the last 10 years coming up, was I really felt alone. I felt that no one understood me. I felt I couldn't tell anyone, and I found myself uh, just really sad. And that's mainly because I had no one to tell. So I really encourage you, if you're a young person, get some really good friends or family around you, and start being honest with them, because I find that it gets easier with people to talk to, the
Absolutely.
right people to talk to.
Absolutely. Josiah Pasikale, finalist in this year's Mr. Gay New Zealand, business owner and advocate for gay community rights. Thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to you being Mr. Gay New Zealand, hopefully next year.
Maybe.
You might not put your hand up this time, you think?
Hopefully someone else does.
Thank you, Josiah. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. You're listening to Early Edition with Ete. That was Josiah Pasikale, finalist for this year's Mr. Gay New Zealand, business owner and advocate for gay community. And if you are young and if you are struggling with your sexuality, take up Josiah's good advice. Find people who understand you, because you need to talk, you need to share, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Here's Kula K Uluvuya with Tangi Moduya.